Hey there guys, what's going on? It's Talking Flicks here, and I'm coming at you with a new video today. And this video is going to be Flick Battles! It's going to be a great Flick Battle, guys. You should be excited with this one. We're having Mini Evan here joining us. He'll be joining the fight, kinda, well, he'll be almost narrating it, but he'll be normal-sized Evan. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you guys would like to see him. Anyways, the movies that are going to be facing off against each other are Mortal Kombat 1995 versus Mortal Kombat Annihilation, regarded as one of the worst films of all time, versus Mortal Kombat 2021. All three of these films are going to go head to head in an epic flick battle. But before we get into things, I gotta just tell you one thing, and that is spoilers! Okay, I think you guys had enough of the beep. And now, before we get into it, I think it is time we show you a cool video. And we will show you them battling to the death in Alright, you guys, now that you have made it back from that amazing video I made, of course, let's get into the actual flick battle. Heck yeah. Alright, so let's start off with the characters here. Now, if you don't know, I am a longtime Mortal Kombat fan. I love the games, I am deep in the lore. I've played all of the main games except for 4. I've played all the rest of them though. And I especially love these newer NetherRealm games, and they're all fantastic. So, I am the target audience for these movies. At least I hope I am. Or else then the studio did something wrong. But let's talk about the characters in these movies. So in the first movie you have Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, and Sonya. They are the big three. And I thought they were all pretty well handled. I liked all three of them. I thought they were all pretty good. Especially Johnny Cage. He felt ripped right out of the game. I thought it was really great. And then you have, oh gosh, I'm just looking at that battle. Oh gosh. Ah, this is better. This is much better. Okay. So, and then get to the, let's see, who else? Yeah, Raiden. Raiden's in the movie. I didn't really like, I don't think they did good casting. And, you know, with, like, the cackling laugh he does with the, That's a terrible impression, I'm sorry. But I did not like Raiden in that first movie. And then you have, let's see. No, those are villains. Well, so Scorpion and Sub-Zero were just poorly handled in this movie. They were henchmen of Shang Tsung, and you pretty much took out all the interesting backstory of them, and that's just wrong. You don't do that to Scorpion and Sub-Zero, you know. That's not how you do this. And then you have Artline in there. Oh, Artline's fantastic, but he could have just been Jax. I think he should have been Jax in the movie, and then Goro with his arm off. Goro was pretty cool, but if they just had Artline's ripped off by Goro, or if you had any replacement, it was Jax instead there, I think that would have been better. Anyway, let's talk about Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I don't want to, but we have to. Jax, I actually liked in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I thought it was okay. Everyone else was terrible. Even returning characters like Liu Kang and Katana, they were still bad. And then Sonya and Johnny Cage being recast and killing off Johnny Cage in the first 5 minutes, just terrible stuff with the characters. Hated all of them. Jax wasn't enough to save the movie. Nowhere near enough. And then you get Mortal Kombat 2021, which it nailed Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I'll say that Scorpion and Sub-Zero were fantastic in this movie. And I was gonna say Johnny Cage. Kano was awesome. I really liked Kano in this movie. It's too bad Johnny Cage wasn't in this movie. I feel like Johnny Cage should have been in it, but they are setting up to have Johnny Cage in the sequel, which I am excited about. I'd love to see a sequel to this movie. And let's see, who else we got? We got Sonya. Sonya was fine. Jax and Sonya, I thought they were kind of okay characters. I feel like I'm gonna get to the score soon, so I'm gonna pause. And then you have who else is here? We have Raiden. Raiden felt underutilized. Raiden should have been so much cooler than he was. I almost preferred. He's honestly around equal with the Raiden from the first Mortal Kombat. Because honestly, I felt like, even though the acting was worse, I felt like they wrote Raiden better. He felt like more of a presence, more of a character at the end of the day than this one and the new one. He just felt, useless. Well, not useless, but he didn't really do much. And then the rules they established with Raiden and how he can't participate in the tournament, but then it was pre-tournament, and then they give a rule where Elder Gods cannot participate in wars and everything. And then he just does something at the end of the movie, and then Cole's like, I thought you couldn't participate, and then Raiden just smiles. I'm like, so what do you mean? So, it's really confusing. And then you have Liu Kang and Kung Lao. I thought they were actually pretty cool. I do prefer the Liu Kang in the original movie, just because I like how he's more of a central character. Liu Kang almost felt like a side character in this one, but I still thought that he was cool. And I thought Kung Lao was also freaking awesome, really great. Love Kung Lao. And then Cole, the first time I watched it, I've seen this movie twice. The first time I did not like Cole. Second time I watched it, I thought it was okay. I didn't mind him as much as that. The acting was a little shaky, but I thought overall he was fine. And so, yeah, those are really my thoughts on the characters in the 2021 movie. Fast forward a little bit. There we go. So I give Mortal Kombat, the first one, a 6 out of 10 for its characters, just because the way they handled the Scorpion and Sub-Zero was terrible. And then Mortal Kombat Annihilation gets a 2 out of 10, and the new movie gets a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's fair. Alright, so now we shall move on to the next category, if that is correct, right? We should be moving on. I said we should be... Idiot. Alright, let's move on to the villains. Alright, so okay, we're gonna start with the first movie. We're showing Reptile here. Reptile is cool. This fight scene was fantastic. Not that Reptile was really great in the scene here. He doesn't get much to do. He doesn't get much of his backstory. But at the end of the day, Reptile never had a very deep backstory. And then you have Shang Tsung. Hiroyuki Sanada is just so good. He's so good. Your soul is mine. It's incredible. It's so iconic. I love it. But at the same time, it's cheesy. It's not the best at the end of the day. And then you have Goro. Goro was pretty cool. I actually liked Goro. Especially, I like that he was practical, because he would have looked so much worse as CGI. Oh my gosh, look at these effects. I can't get over that. Oh my gosh. Just every time I see it, I want to cry. But, so let's talk about Annihilation. Shao Kahn is horrible. Sindel is horrible. Ermac, Rain, Baraka, Shiva, Motaro, they're all terrible. All of them are awful. I hate them all. And then, Mortal Kombat 2021. Let's see. Shang Tsung. I did not like how they handled Shang Tsung in this movie. I honestly prefer the original Shang Tsung. I just felt like he wasn't scary. He had one moment. He did kill Kung Lao, so that was pretty big of him. But other than that, he never felt intimidating. He didn't really feel like the main villain. And that's because he isn't the main villain of the movie. Sub-Zero is the main villain of the movie. He is the one our protagonists are always up against. He is the main villain. And Sub-Zero was freaking awesome. Sub-Zero was so good in this movie. The way they used his powers, and he was terrifying in this movie. Sub-Zero, he is the scariest character in this movie. It's not Shang Tsung. Sub-Zero has the scariest presence. He was perfect in this movie. Joe Taslim does a fantastic job with him. And just amazing. Oh wait, I forgot to bring it up. There's something I want to talk about with Annihilation. It has some of the worst line delivery. And There's a clip I want to show you real quick of some line delivery in Annihilation.
Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die.
Terrible. Just the worst. Just the worst. Just wow. Okay, and then yeah, the villains were terrible in Annihilation. Mortal Kombat 2021, just because of Sub-Zero, I thought it was actually really good. Now let's get into like the side villains. You have Nitaro and Reiko in there. I like that they were in there because they were barely utilized. They did not get much to do at all, but I like that it was them being utilized rather than someone cool from the games, because or else it felt like they were underused. And since it's these two characters that very few people care about, I like that. Especially Reiko. Reiko is just a Shao Kahn with a frick Reiko. I like that they used him. So I'd say the original Mortal Kombat gets a 7 out of 10, Annihilation gets a 1 out of 10, and 2021 gets an 8 out of 10. Now something I forgot to talk about Melina. Okay, in the villains I forgot to talk about Melina. For the 2021 movie. Oh yeah, and she was in Annihilation. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh, Annihilation. But Melina in the 2021 movie, I did not like, because remember when I was talking about like how they used Nitaro and Reiko in there because they weren't cool bad guys and like that they didn't get much to do. Melina is a cool bad guy in the games, and she felt underutilized. Not underutilized. They didn't give any of her background. That's my problem. She was just a henchman, and she's the daughter of Shao Kahn. Okay, if you don't know the mythology of Melina, she is a clone of Kitana with Tarkatan genes. That's why she has the horrible looking teeth. They need to show Kitana, and then you need, if you're putting Melina in there, you can't have Melina without Kitana. You know, it's a yin and yang. They're like the female Scorpion Sub-Zero, pretty much, of Mortal Kombat. So I felt like without Kitana, Melina's just flat to me. So yeah, I did not like her using Melina. But let's get into the story of the movie now. First, Mortal Kombat, very simple story. Tournament, these guys need to be recruited, and then they fight in tournament, and then Liu Kang wins. Simple enough, right? And really dug it. That's what the first game is about, the tournament, and I loved that they did the tournament in this movie. And I'm praising this story more than I should thanks to the 2021 movie about something they did horribly in there. Now, Annihilation, Shao Kahn invades Earthrealm. They have 6 days until it is destroyed. Why 6 days? Well, because we need a movie. Just terrible. And oh my gosh, this final battle. It's all horrible. The story is terrible in Annihilation. It makes no sense. So many plot holes, and just Raiden giving up his powers and then getting them back at the end just because, yeah. I mean, just terrible. And then you get to the new one. Why would you make it why would you make the entire movie pre the tournament? When you're going to this movie, Mortal Kombat, that first Mortal Kombat, you want the tournament. And you don't get the tournament. You need the tournament in there. You know, the tournament is what Mortal Kombat is all about. At least the first game. And that's what this is based off of. So, seriously? I felt like they were setting up too much for the sequel. That's what I'm saying. I felt like for the story of the movie, they cared more about the next movie than this movie itself. And that's a problem with a lot of movies nowadays. Yeah, they're just trying to set up a cinematic universe. Now, Mortal Kombat Cinematic Universe sounds awesome. And I would love to see a Mortal Kombat Cinematic Universe. It's just the way that they did it, you know? Or not necessarily a Cinematic Universe, but a franchise with a few spin-off movies, you know? So, Cinematic Universe, so, yeah. But not putting in the tournament that really bumped it down for me. But the thing is, there are still some really cool story bits in there, like with the whole Scorpion and Sub-Zero mythology stuff in there. That story stuff was fantastic. And, you know, going in a little bit with the Shaolin monks and with whole Kano and the Black Dragon. Oh, I forgot to talk about Cabal and the bad guys. And yeah, Cabal is really cool. And you know, diving into a bit of the Black Dragon there, I thought that was really cool. There's some really cool history and story beats in there, but the overall story was not good. So the first movie gets 7 out of 10, Annihilation gets another 1 out of 10, and the new one gets a 6 out of 10. Now, let's move on to the action. Alright, when you go to Mortal Kombat, what does it need to deliver? The action. It needs to deliver the action more than anything else. So, how is the first movie doing the action? Some cheesy effects, obviously, but some fantastic action scenes. Like, this action scene is awesome. The reptile versus the Liu Kang fight. That's the best action sequence in the movie. It's freaking awesome. At least for a PG-13 Mortal Kombat movie, that reptile and Liu Kang fight is the best it can get. And then you have the Scorpion Giant Cage fight. That's also really cool. And the final battle was pretty good. And there's overall really cool fights in the first movie. The second one, no, no, just no. That final battle was absolutely atrocious with the dragon battle, and then, actually, you know what? Speaking of Annihilation, there's something I need to show you. There's a little clip I need to show you. Hold on. Did you catch the fact that Sonya did the roundhouse kick, or mech dodged, and instead of doing a different move, they reuse the same footage? That's what they're doing for the action for that movie. Okay, that's when you know it's terrible. Action in Annihilation is terrible. Just, oh my gosh, I hated it. It wasn't even entertaining, it was just horrible. And then this new movie does complete justice to the game. It is the action I've always wanted from a Mortal Kombat movie. I could not have asked for better action from this movie. It was gory, it was intense in parts, it was just, it felt grand, it felt big, it felt larger than life. And, you know, if they did the tournament, it would have been even better, but, like, looking at when Liu Kang did that dragon move, or that freaking final fight with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, or that initial one, and then, you know, Kung Lao freaking slicing Nitara in half with the hat, or Jax clapping on Reiko's head and he dies. Just so much cool stuff in there. And, you know, some of the training sequences are fun, with, like, when Liu Kang kept sweeping Kano's leg, it reminds me of the spammers in the game, so it gives some fun callbacks to the games, just some really great action in there. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit. So the first movie gets 7 out of 10, Annihilation gets a 1 out of 10, and this new one gets a 10 out of 10. And now we move on to the music. Mortal Kombat, that original film, incredible music. They couldn't have done a better job. It was fantastic. The score in the movie was great, but most of all, that soundtrack, that classic Mortal Kombat theme song, everyone knows it. Even if you haven't watched the movie or even played the games, you know that song. It's just so good. It's the best thing about the movie, that soundtrack. It slaps. Freaking Techno Syndrome by the Immortals, incredible. And then you have the... Alright, this is pretty much the only praise you're going to see me give Annihilation. They do use the original theme song in there, and it's pretty cool. However, they do pretty much cut to it, and then they cut back to it playing again, which is kind of weird there. And the overall score is a very mixed bag. It has some really good moments in there, but there's some really terrible stuff. So really annoying score, but also really cool. It's pretty yin and yang there. But overall, not bad. Oh no, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I forgot to put the names there. It's KinoCheck. Shout out to KinoCheck for that footage there. There we go. It said it in the video, it's okay. So, the music for this new 2021 movie, how is it? It's not bad. It's actually pretty good, the score. It's just, it's in the shadow of their original theme song. They used it a little bit at the end, and then they put in the credits. But other than that, they don't use it, and they should have used it more. Why would they use it so little? Why? My gosh, just... They should have used it more. They really should have used it more, but other than that, I thought the score was good. And so, let's just zoom there. So the first movie gets a 10 out of 10 for the music. The second one gets a 6 out of 10. The most praise I'm going to give it. And the new one gets a 7 out of 10. And so that leaves the winner to be Mortal Kombat 2021 as the best Mortal live action movie. I think the overall best movie, but this one, I was happy. I'm just so happy that I have a good, genuinely good live action rated R Mortal Kombat movie. You know, the first movie's fun and all, but this one is where it's at for me. I really had a lot of fun with this one, and watching it the second time, I had even more fun. So, the first Mortal Kombat gets a 70% good. The second movie gets a 10% ouch. It was just, whew, awful. And then the new one gets a 79% good. I know it's not, I guess you're saying it really only that little bit of a jump from the first one. The reason the first movie gets that 70% for me, partially nostalgia, Well, again, at the same time, it was the only Mortal Kombat movie I had for a long time. The only live-action Mortal Kombat movie. And Scorpion's Revenge only came out last year, so I watched this movie a decent amount. Honestly, both these movies a decent amount when I was younger, just because I loved Mortal Kombat, and I wanted to see more of it, so I saw these movies a lot, not knowing that they were actually not very good. I mean, but I still enjoy that first one. Whenever I watch it, I have a ton of fun when I watch that first one. The second one, I actually watched more than the first one, just because I like seeing all the characters in there. It does use a lot more characters. That's a fact. Does it use them well? No, but it does use them. Gosh. Second one is just awful one. Probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Terrible. Ouch. And this new movie, it was good. It's not great. It's close to great. It honestly is close to greatness, but the story and then some of the character choices they do and that holds it back. But the fact that this is a Mortal Kombat movie, here's the reason I enjoy it so much. It's fun. I can watch this. I watched it twice, and when I watched it that second time, I realized how easily I can be entertained by this movie. It's so watchable for me. I can watch this movie any day of the week and just have a blast. I can see that being one of those movies, and I see myself watching this new Mortal Kombat a lot more in the future, unless the sequel they do is that a lot better, and then this one will just kind of get tossed to the side. But I see myself watching this movie a lot more in the future, and I really enjoyed this new Mortal Kombat. So there you go. Those are my opinions on the Mortal Kombat series. Comment down below if you're a fan of Mortal Kombat, if you like the games and everything, and if you are engrossed in the mythology and everything. Comment down below all your thoughts on these movies, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye bye.